Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. In this session, we are going to start working on Google Sheets. First of all, I want to mention that if you watched our videos on Google Docs and you have learned all, because it was a lengthy tutorial, a complete tutorial, comprehensive tutorial about Google Docs, we worked on all the items, toolbars, and also menu bars, all of them step by step, and even we tailored our resume, completely formatted everything. So if you have learned all tools that we have worked on Google Docs, working with Google Sheets will be so easy, because as you see, all of the tools here are similar, except maybe some formula, something that, and also all the options in file, edit, view, insert. Only we will have some data, extra information here, and working with this program will be so much easy if you have watched Google Docs. Exactly similar. I can mention that 90% it is similar to that. So this is the first point that I wanted to mention. If you haven't watched the Google Docs, I recommend you go and watch all tutorials, because I'm not going to repeat all the items that I have taught here. For example, how to insert picture, table, because it is the same. Here we can again insert pictures, tables, chart, as you see, images, drawing, all of them are similar. Emojis, we have worked all of them, and the function of these items, it is similar. As you see, the difference between Google Docs, between Google Docs and Google Sheets is that in Google Sheet, we have, as you see, many cells, and each cell is exactly similar to one of the documents that you can put lots of pictures, text, but the point is that they are integrated to each other. They are connected to each other. If you write something here, you can write a formula between them. For example, if I write here 55, and in the next cell, I write, for example, 65. Next cell, for example, 77. Next cell, for example, 78. Here, 12, something like this. Then I want very quickly, this is in one cell, this is another cell. Okay, if I want to have their total quickly, if I write equal, as you see, when I write equal, it knows that I want a formula. For example, for sum, the total of amount. Okay, if I want, I can choose and enter, or I can, for example, if I don't want some numbers, I can select the other titles. So it will quickly does it. If I push enter, it will give the total number. As you see, very quickly it brings the total number. For example, here, if I write equal, for example, average, it means that I want the average of these numbers. Average, if I write, as you see, average. And it quickly understand that I want the average of these numbers, not the total. So if I accept it, it will give the average is 57.5. So it is very quickly helps me to do accounting some information that I need, or even writing data. For example, if I write here milk, sugar, gas, fruit, bread. As you see here, I can type text, put pictures. Even for the text, I can use some formulas that maybe in the future we can see. Even we can very quickly can create a chart. I can select them, insert, and go to charts. As you see, very quickly, based on the numbers that I have given, it can create a chart and I can work on them. We will learn them. And if I click outside, the chart will be here. I can use them, make different colors. If I, very quickly, if I, for example, for sugar, if I write it, for example, 100, as you see here, sugar will goes up very quickly. And if I write, for example, something for bread, 50, as you see here, bread, when I release it, click here, it will goes up. So automatically these cells work together, integrated, and we can use them for formulas. So here only I wanted to mention that the sheets that we are working, Excel sheet, they are similar to Google Docs that we were going to typing. Even if I wanted to, I can select them, make them bold, as you see here, for example, make them their color different, or increase their font. Anything that we learned on Microsoft Word, it is similar to this one. The only difference is that we have thousands and millions of cells that we can work big data. For example, if you go down, this is numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go down, as you see, thousands and millions of cells we can create and add. If I want, I scroll up, and this is the alphabet A, B, C, D, as you see. If I go horizontally, I can see lots of cells. So each cell is recognized by its name. When I click on sugar, its name is C3. When I click on bread, its name is C6. So it is the combination, as you see, the name of the cell here. When I click the total is, as you see, B7. It shows that B7. So, and the formula it shows here. and here you can change the formula. For example, if I don't want to add bread on them, instead of B6, it is B6, bread is B6. I can come to formula and change it to B5. When I change it to B5, as you go, bread is not accounted from the. When I push enter and accept it, and when I click outside, as you see, it will be 300. It is not accounted for the total number. So as you see, working with it, it is so easy, and you can very quickly do it. And again, I can make it undo, the same thing that we used on Google Docs, do undo. And when I make it undo, as you see, it will goes back to 300. And when I click on it, B6 is here, and it is the same as it was before. And working with this, it's exactly similar to Microsoft Excel. If I'm going to compare it, if you look at Microsoft Excel, it is the same functions, the letters A, B, C, D, and the numbers 1, 2, the name of the Excels. Even I can go to the data here and select the data, for example, this one, and go on edit, copy, or right click and copy, and bring it here, paste. Okay, and I will have the same information here, and I can work with them. Pay attention. Here, maybe you have some differences. For example, when you are writing formula, there are some extra information here on the formula, or we have some extra information. If I make it maximize, I have some extra information on the insert button, review, something like this. But most of them similar to each other. I mean that we have most of the items that is essential and necessary, we have here. So working with Google Excel and Google Docs is completely similar to each other. In the first view, it is a little maybe confusing. Oh my God, how many items and tools I have here. I will do something that you will see that these options really are not necessary. If I go to File, okay, and Options, and here on the Customize Ribbons, if I take all the ribbons, all these ribbons, I mean the tools, all of them, and okay, you see, there is nothing, and it is not confusing. When you are typing, it is typed. When you are writing numbers, it is written. Everything is here, and it shows that I am writing. And if you want to do something, for example, you can select them and right click. When you right click, you can access those tools that were in the ribbons. For example, make them bold, or I don't know, work with some formula. So it shows that it is not so complex and complicated. Here, for example, for formatting cells, I can go here. I can access all formatting cells on Excel that I am working. So when you see some options here, you get confused. Oh my God, how many tools are they? Most of them are not necessary, are not essential. The only thing is that you have simple data here, and you can work on them. And this is sheet 1. If I want, I can create sheet 2. This is another one. This is sheet 1 because you can have hundreds of sheets. I can click here, for example, and even if I right click on this, I can rename it. For example, rename it number 1. For example, 1. Anything. Here, click rename it. For example, number 2 to see much better. For example, rename it number 3. Even I can use different colors. If I right click on it and go here, tab color, make it red. This one, because recognize much better, tab color yellow. This one, tab color green. So you can have different, and here if I write, for example, some information, some numbers, bring data, picture. In number 3, if I want, for example, again, paste the same data because I have in the memory, I can click and paste them and change their color, for example, in red, something like this, their background like this. So this is number 3, this is number 2, this is number 1. So you can have different sheets, and when right click on their name here, you can rename their, delete them, or change their color, and do other activities that we will learn step by step. So this is called book 1. These all sheets are called book 1, book 3, and you can rename it if you want. So as you notice, working with Excel will be so easy. If I want to bring the options, I can go again, File and Options, here Advanced, here Custom Ribbons, and put their check mark. Will bring. If I don't want, for example, I don't use some of them, I can take the check mark. For example, most of the time I don't use developers and adds in help, for example, Foxit, Acrobat. So I don't want myself confused. I can click. Then I can click OK. It will be the same as it was. Pay attention. Now it is a Microsoft Excel. When I'm going to close it, it asks me the name, save it, where I am going to save in my computer, something like this. But the same as Google Docs, when we are working on Google Sheets, it is not necessary to save. There is no button to save it. It is automatically saved. So the first thing, as I mentioned, you only rename it. As you see, it is called Untitled Spreadsheet. The first thing, you should click here, and for example, I will write first spreadsheet, for example, and it is renamed. And anything that I have done here, if I close it, it is saved. When I go to my drive As you see here, it is here in my files, first spreadsheet, and it is saved. When I double click on it, it will be open and I can continue working on it, changing or saving or doing anything that. So as you see, its name is first spreadsheet. So here we learned the comparison between Google Excel and Google Sheets, but here we are going to know that how we can access it. The easiest one is your Google app. When you are on Google account, if you go to apps here, Google Apps, and you will find Sheets. If it is not here, maybe it is down, you can come and click and bring it up, scroll it up. So when I click on Google Sheets, it will go to Google Sheets. And to start a new one here, you can click start a new spreadsheet. These are the templates. As you see, I worked on them. If I click here, I can see access lots of, for example, to-do list, scheduler, travel planner, for work, invoice, annual business budget, lots of templates that you can work and practice with them. They are amazing. I recommend that when you are working, learning, go and click on them. For example, if you want, to learn about project tracking or event, or for example, class attendance, see the samples, education for education, you can click and open one of them and work them. As you see, they are made ready and easily you can access them, work with them. This is one sheet. This is another sheet that it is worked, and you can learn a lot from these items that before they have worked on it. So this is the best way to practice. Again, if I want to go there, I can click here, Sheets, Home, and it will take me here. This was the templates gallery. As I mentioned, you can watch them here. Then go back. To create a new one, you can click on this plus sign. When I click here, it will create a new document. But first thing that we mentioned, you renaming. If you are going to work on it, don't close it. When I close this, it will be called untitled spreadsheet. So I can click here, for example, test. I will rename it. Then I can start typing, or I can use the templates that are here. As you see, when my mouse goes here, it gives some templates that, for example, event task, project task, product prioritization, anything that I want, blank table, or event task. When I click on this, it will create it here. And next, I don't want it. It is a kind of training. And I can work on this, change the information here, or write my information and work on them. When I close this, where is it? It is in my Google Drive, my drive here. Pay attention. It was attendance. It was a template, but we changed it for ourselves. It was called test. Then I click it, and it will open the same data information that I changed it and I brought it here. Then I can work on this. So the easiest one was go to Google App and Sheets. Another way, you can type sheets.google.com. If you type sheets.google.com, enter, again, it will bring you the same page. The next way is your Google Drive. When you are on Google Drive, when you click on new, you can go Google Sheets. If you click on it, it will open a new Sheets and you can work it. It is untitled New Sheets and it will save in Google Drive as I mentioned. So these were the easiest way to access Google Sheets, and to access all the files, you can click here, Sheets Home, and you can access all the files. Today I have worked this. These are the templates. You can work, even more templates are here. These are the files that today I have worked. Yesterday I have worked this one. Previous 30 days I have worked these ones. I can access and work on them. For example, this one. If I want, I can click and open the file that I have worked. And now we are going to practice and learn how we can make them. Now the last point that I'm going to work on it, when I open a new one, a new file, new spreadsheet, this is another way to open a new file. We are going to learn the environment or workplace that we are going to work on Google Sheets. This similar the one that I worked in Google Docs. The same as Google Docs, here is the title of the book. We can call it, for example, book 1, practice. Okay, it will be renamed here. So it is saved automatically. It is not necessary to click on any button. These are the menu bars. All activities that you are going to, you can access them: file, edit, view, insert, format, data, tools, extension, help, similar to Google Docs. These are the essential, most practical tools that mostly we are using for formatting data or putting formula information, something that step by step we will use them. This is similar, exactly. This is similar to Google Docs, version history, comments, Google Meets, and sharing if you want to share the file with somebody else. So this is, and if you click here, as you see, it will hide the menu bars and you can access all data. If you want, you can show here all the information are about. And this is the area that you are going to start typing. As you see, if you look down, it is called Sheet 1. So the name of the book is book. Usually we call it book 1 or spreadsheet 1. Okay, but it can have different sheets. For example, this is Sheet 1. If I want to add, for example, here I want to add the numbers. Okay, I write numbers. Okay, and I want to add some data, text. I can add here, add text, number 2, as you see. And here, for example, text or some other information, picture, something like this. And number 3, for example, here, I want to insert a picture. I can insert and come here and insert an image in the cell or overall cell. If I click overall cell, I can browse my computer. It goes to my computer, for example, pictures, and bring this picture. It is similar to Google Docs, working with pictures. I can work on it, for example, make it small and something like this. So this is for picture. I can rename this, the name of the sheets. Number 3, I can right click on it and rename it. Picture, for example, picture. And when click outside, it is called picture. Then I can make it color label, go to change color, make it blue. Then the next one, it was text. I can write more text here to show that I am writing text, something like this. Then rename it. Click rename text. And even I can right click on it and change the color, for example, red one. Sheet number 1, I can rename it as number. And change color, for example, green. So easily I can see them. Okay, this is red one, this is picture, blue one, this is number. So I can add and even I can delete. For example, I don't need the text. I can right click and delete it. And it once up, it will be deleted and you cannot do anything about. Okay, I don't need it. So in this session, you learned that you can create some sheets, different sheets, and rename them and how you can access them. In the next session, we are going to work step by step how exactly create a meaningful data information and working with tools, especially with formulas, because we need to work with some functions. We are familiar, as I mentioned, I'm not going to repeat all these tools that I have worked in Google Docs. Here only we are going to learn more new data, how we can use Google Sheets or Excel in accounting or doing some activities that we need in daily life. So I will see you in the next video, how to start the job exactly and putting the information, formatting and using formula and also working with this environment.